Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear, because if not, then that's going to be a bad thing. But greetings, everybody. Let's make sure everything actually does sound a-okay before I begin the session for the night. Because I do have a couple of things I want to chit-chat with you guys for tonight, and I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to take this chance to talk about, well, anime. As you guys know, last week we did one for anime with the Crunchyroll stuff. Here's another week, and we were originally planning to conclude a lot of things in the last session that we were unable to do given how long the the Crunchyroll Anime Awards were, that we had to postpone the 2019 discussion till this week. Of course, I'm just making sure if everything's okay, if everything's running fine. For some reason, my throat sounds completely weird. Hold on, let me fix my own mouth here for a second. Alright, there we go. Okay, there we go. I got my voice back. I had something caught in my throat there, but now I'm good. Now I am all A-okay. So, hopefully, let's make sure everything is running fine. Make sure everything's all good, etc. Make sure everything's streamed up properly. It's telling me it's good. There we go. Alright, I'm actually enjoying it. Let me just make sure as well to see. Now, the thing is, it's kind of funny. Originally, we were supposed to stream at 10. Due to some complications, we're heading until 10:30. Well, for Evie anyway. So Evie will be joining us a little bit later than expected. So for the first half an hour, I thought it'd be kind of fun to go and talk about some of the things that have gone during these past couple of days, given that a lot has actually gone down, and see what we can, answer and question stuff, because of course the Smash Direct had recently aired not too very long ago with very mixed reviews, man. I mean, we're talking about like 60-40% in terms of how people were feeling for that 5th DLC pack, and honestly I have my fair share of opinions on it. I highly doubt we're going to probably talk about it as much in the PokePod on Monday. So I thought now would be a perfect opportunity for me anyway to kind of share my thoughts on this whole fiasco, because as you guys already know, it's been officially confirmed that the character Byleth and the other character Byleth are from, of course, Fire Emblem Three Houses, will be joining the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate series as a playable fighter in the last Fighters character in the Fighters Pass, within Volume 1 anyway. And a lot of people were very mixed about this, obviously, because to many people, they viewed this situation as like it's another Fire Emblem character. Why are you oversaturating us with Fire Emblem characters is pretty much how many fans are feeling right now of the Smash series. And honestly, I can understand both angles, because it's, from one end, I mean, it's great to see Three Houses get some representation. It is honestly one of the best Fire Emblem games to date, just because of a lot of the quality of life changes that this series went through in Three Houses. I feel like they really nailed it in the character department, the development of the storyline, the atmosphere, the tone, everything about it, I genuinely feel was pretty great. And honestly, I think Byleth should have been a character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And, I'm kind of glad he is. With that being said, though, I am honestly a bit bummed out at the fact that he actually appeared, at, the last one. The last DLC fighter. Because that raises a couple of questions. For starters, why? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, as of this moment, for this Fighters Pass DLC pack we got, so far every single character has mainly been on the third party side. Honestly, for Volume 1, they should have maintained that momentum of just keeping every single character a third party character. Banjo, Joker, Hero, Terry Bogard, honestly, all of those four, of course being third party, should have been followed up with another third party character. Because the thing is, when Fighters Pass Volume 2 were to drop sometime within the year, many fans would, at least at that moment, realize, okay, we've gotten a lot of third-party characters. Maybe the next volume will mainly be like a mixture of, first-party characters and third-party characters. Like, honestly, to me, in my opinion, I feel the impact of Byleth would have been far less had Byleth been the first DLC character for Fighters Pass Volume 2 rather than the last character for the Fighters Pack Volume 1. Because they've made this big deal about this being the grand finale of the Fighters Pass. You also got to remember, too, that before Volume 2 was even announced, they confirmed that they had the 5 characters up in front. Like, they had this whole article debate saying how Nintendo gave this selection of characters that they wanted to see, and Sakurai, of course, came to an agreement with some of them, and he was like, okay, these are going to be the characters that are going to be presented in Smash Bros. The thing is, honestly, it should have just been first party, and then the Volume 2 characters should have been a mixture of the two, from first and third party, but now, given this situation, I honestly feel bad for the Fire Emblem franchise, because now Fire Emblem as a franchise is going to be viewed as, that one franchise that gets oversaturated in Super Smash Bros., which doesn't help because there's 8 characters now with the inclusion of Byleth. You got, let me see, you got Marth, you got Maroi, you got Lucina, you got Robin, you got Chrom, Ike, Corrin, and then the last one being of Byleth. I think those are all the characters that are presented in Smash Bros. So, yeah, that's actually a lot. And honestly, I would have been fine with the addition of Byleth, only because, of course, I enjoyed Byleth in his game. But they should have handled it better, honestly. The way Byleth was I think there was no way to actually work around this situation. That's the sad part about it. Because think about it. If they had announced Byleth in E3, people would have been like, oh no, we're having another Corrin situation again, where the character was announced before the game even released. So why are we doing this, And then, of course, if they tried to have released it during the time of Bogard, it would have been impossible, because Sakurai mentioned in the Direct that he was just playing the game a few days prior to the actual official release, and with so much crunch time, it would have been impossible to have had him be the 4th inclusion in the DLC Fighters Pass. But yeah, honestly, I think they should have done a better job in just maintaining third party for the first wave. People would have been more fine. People would have been like, okay, we're ending it at least with a third party. There is mainly that. Let's make Fighters Pass Volume 2 something completely different. Make a mixture of the two now. And everybody would have been a little bit more on the positive side. Now, I think what hurts me the most as well with this whole Fire Emblem fiasco is, as you guys already know, the Tokyo Mirage Sessions game being of a fusion between the Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem series had just released days after the events of Fire Emblem, Byleth being announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate via the Fighters Pass. And I feel like this negative, sour note that we're seeing right now is going to cause a bad influence on, honestly, one of my favorite JRPG games from the last generation on the Wii U. That just hurts me, man. This sucks. For Fire Emblem fans, it's unfortunate because, of course, they had no control over who the hell gets announced later. They're just also riding in on the wave of... And listen, for Byleth fans, congratulations. You guys came out on top. You guys got your character in Smash Brothers, man. I'm be glad for that. It's just that the Smash community is really not handling it very well. And... oof, man, all the memes you see, everything coming out about how people are saying, oh, hey, look, listen, it's just another Fire Emblem character, it's fine, whatever. You got 6 more characters coming up, be excited for that. And then you, of course, got fans replying like, listen, you guys shouldn't say any of this. You guys already have so many Fire Emblem characters. They all are completely one alike to another, which is unfortunate because it kind of is that situation because a lot of the characters in Smash Bros. Ultimate are mainly Echo Fighters. I mean, Lucina, Chrom, who else is there that's also similar to like an Echo? I guess you could consider Roy as a way because Roy kind of plays a little similarly to someone else but has the fire gimmick included with him. But it's just like, man, it sucks. And then the weirdest part for me personally that I got pissed off the most with is how fans are mainly mad at one character inclusion among 5. You know what I mean? Like, people are pissed off at Byleth being included in the Fighter's Pass and think that it just completely destroys every other character reveal that has came prior to Byleth. And I'm like, guys, you got Joker, you got Banjo, you got Hero, you got, Terry Bogard. Those are amazing third-party representations right there, and you can clearly tell Sakurai has such a mass love for them. But, like, dude, come on. to say that the entire thing is ruined by one character, that's a bit too much, don't you think? Not every Fighter's Pass DLC is going to come included with at least all of them being super solid. There's going to be a character that's going to come out to be that weird, odd one amongst the cast. Byleth, sadly, is that one, but it's like, don't worry. There's 6 more coming along in the future. Look forward to those. You'll eventually, maybe, I'm not saying you will get guaranteed the character you want, but at least there's a chance for one of your characters to get revealed. And, yeah, that's all I gotta say in regards to Byleth. I actually, it kind of hurts me the most too, because, like, listen, I love Byleth as a character. I love Three Houses. I love the game. And even I can admit I was done with Fire Emblem and Smash Brothers. Like, if you've seen my reaction for Smash Brothers Ultimates with Byleth's reveal and all that, I was like, yay, it's great, but it's like, man, it's just a bum, man. It's only going to happen again next pass. Last one, don't expect. Listen, man, here's my predictions. Here is my predictions as to what I think the final DLC pass for Smash Brothers is going to be. Okay, this is just my predictions, all right? Just remember, this is my speculation, and this is what I think is going to happen. I think the first one is going to be Rex and Pyra, only just because... No, Goose, to me personally, I think Goose would be better as a DLC for a Mii fighter, like what they've done so far with Cuphead, which is an amazing inclusion, and of course Sans from Undertale. I think Goose would be a great character to have as a Mii fighter, honestly, which I don't know how they're going to make that work, because it's impossible. I mean, the anatomy of a goose mixed in with a Mii fighter, it's going to look a little weird. But given Sakurai, I think there might be some potential greatness coming along. Maybe Sakurai's already in the works with House Studios and are probably planning on trying to get some form of a goose content into the game. I would be fine with a goose hat. Goose hat would be great. I'm not expect. Oh, you know what I would? You know what I would love instead? If, like, it's just the goose head. It's not the hat. It's like the entire head, like the neck and the head with the beak and everything. And then you have this humanoid body. That's the best way I think they could go at it. Because I feel like they can't actually create a full-on goose model, for a Mii fighter. Because, like I mentioned before, the anatomy of the goose is nowhere near the level of, like, a Mii character. Because they're humanoids. And you got a goose with 2 flippers and wings, So... yeah, like, I think, like, if anything, I think what would be cool is, like, if the Mii head is literally just the actual model of the goose's head from the Untitled Goose Game. I don't know if they'll ever add downloadable assist trophies. That would be hilarious. But I highly doubt they'll do something like that. Though, in my opinion, it would be cool. I'm not going to lie. It would be absolutely amazing if they do that. Give me just a second. Water. Okay. So... here's my prediction. I believe Fighters Pass number 1 is going to be Rex and Pyra. And also, remember, folks, that according to what was shown off in the Smash Direct, they did announce that it was going to last until December 31st of 2021. So they're probably going to stretch it out a little longer this time around compared to how it was done with the original first Fighters Pass. Of course, there being 6 characters this time around, who knows how long it might take. However, we do know that all 6 have at this moment been selected by Sakurai, and pretty much he straight up said, don't ever tell me anything on Twitter because it's already been done, it's already been selected. Yeah, give it a wrap. So Rex and Pyra / Mithra, I think would be DLC Fighter Pass 1. For the second one, honestly, for Dante fans, I would love to see Dante come in. You know what I think would make sense? I think Fighters Pass Character 1 is going to be Rex and Pyra, because that's going to be announced alongside the official release date announcement of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. That's what I'm thinking they're going to try to tie it in. They're going to make Rex and Pyra be announced with the official announcement of the Definitive Edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 1 HD sometime maybe April or May. I think that's what's going to go down. For DLC Fighter Pack 2 and for 3 actually, I think those two are going to be announced at E3 of this year. And they're going to be announced for, of course, a summer release date and a fall release date. And I would expect that those two would be megaton announcements. So, I honestly think that Dante from the Devil May Cry series would definitely be a great inclusion. And then at the very end, I would think another bombshell of an announcement being of like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Of course, I'm not sure if Kingdom Hearts will actually succeed in getting included into Super Smash Bros., but that would be pretty cool nonetheless. Alright, so that's what I think is going to come down at E3. Moving into the fall season, for Fighters Pass 4, I would like to see some indie representation. Of course, we're seeing that happen with the Mii costumes, and that's really great. I'm loving that. But now let's actually get an indie playable character. And people have been craving for Shantae to come into becoming a fighter for the Smash series. So I would absolutely love that. I think Shantae would be a great inclusion in the franchise. Moving into Fighters Pass 5, let's say sometime around next year of 2021, they announce... Actually, what would they? I know it's probably going to be another third-party character. I would like to say this time around it's probably going to be from Bandai Namco, because Bandai Namco has been working on in the title. So I think maybe something like Klonoa would be a great inclusion. You know, it's not insanely crazy, but it is a character that many people have also been asking to see be represented in Smash in some way, shape, and form. And having Klonoa, honestly, would be pretty cool. I really do love Klonoa as a character.
Hostman.
There you are, buddy.
I apologize for the tardiness, by the way.
No, don't worry. I've just been talking about the Fighters Pass. It's all good, buddy.
Alright, so now that we're here, we could finally initialize the anime pod.
Yes, I'm glad to see you here, buddy. But let me just wrap things up. So what I had, sure. Because I was just talking about my predictions for the Fighters Pass of Volume 2, I said for 1, it's going to be Rex and Pyra / Mithra. 2, it's going to for 2 and 3, they're going to be announced at E3. It's going to be Dante, and it's going to be Sora from Kingdom Hearts. For Fighters Pass Volume 4, I'm expecting an indie representation. So I would think that Shantae would probably be the best candidate for the indies, because so far we have...
Goose.
We all agreed that, like, you know, I would love Goose. I think Goose would be the ultimate announcement of a bombshell. Like, Goose honestly should be announced at E3. That is the best way to announce Goose at E3. It would blow everybody's expectation away, because nobody would have expected Goose of all characters to have been included. But I would like a Goose costume though for the Mii. I think that would be pretty cool. If they cannot include it as a playable character, give it a Goose costume. You know, make it like a bombshell announcement, like how they handled it with Cuphead and with Sans when they got their own respective announcements in the Mii trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
For Fighters Pass Volume for number 5, I mentioned I would like to see from Bandai Namco. I believe they're the ones responsible for this franchise. Klonoa. I think Klonoa would be a wonderful inclusion. You know, it's like another underappreciated series. I think it would definitely get a lot more love and would be great. You know, so maybe they'll also announce the Klonoa announcement for Smash Brothers with an inclusion of like the releases of like the original Klonoa games. I would love that. And then Fighters Pass Volume, the character 6th. Now here's the thing, as I mentioned before, it was announced that it's going to be until of December 31st of 2021. So what I think is going to happen is that I think the 6th character is going to be the next main protagonist of the Fire Emblem game that's going to be releasing sometime in 2021. That's my prediction right there. We're getting a 9th Fire Emblem character. I'm telling you.
And the cycle of Hose Man continues.
Dude, man, I love it.
It is the way of life.
Hoes are fatally furious. That's my favorite one, man. I love this entire whole thing. I do feel bad for the Fire Emblem fans, though. Nonetheless, it's unfortunate for them to sadly have their franchise be treated as like, oh, another character added into Smash Brothers, you know, because as I mentioned before, Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, the game, you know, being of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, just came out just yesterday, and now I feel like it's been tainted by this Byleth reveal that came out for Smash Brothers, man. So yeah, that's my whole take on it. What do you think, Evie? Like, what were your take on Byleth's inclusion in Smash?
I apologize. You caught me at a bad time. I'm right now eating. Okay, look.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm hearing your voice twice. Okay, there we go. Okay, I had the Twitch thing open by accident.
All right, sorry about this. So before I take another bite of my fried chicken.
Okay, don't worry then. You're good, buddy.
So, okay, look, you know, being as a, you know, prior to getting into Fire Emblem Three Houses or getting into Fire Emblem in general. I was one of those people that kind of that got pretty annoyed at the fact that Smash Bros. Have already had a huge roster or has shown some sort of like favoritism towards these Fire Emblem characters. So, you know, I tried Fire Emblem Heroes and from there I decided to expand my how do you call it, like my fanatic of Fire Emblem, right?
Yes.
To the Fire Emblem Three Houses, and from there I really enjoyed the game. I came to show a lot more appreciation for the series, and you know, when we got the announcement of Byleth, I was pretty happy about it. But at the same time, I could understand why people would be so upset that we got another Fire Emblem character including into the roster. But then again, for those people who were expecting it, you can't really say that this was kind of a, like a controversial addition, right?
Yeah, because like, you know, it's a first party character instead of a third party character.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
So the addition of Byleth and of course female Byleth, of course you can't have the DLCs can't just be a sausage fest, to say the least. So we gotta have a woman representation there. So
yeah,
you know, I'm pretty happy that we got both versions of Byleth including in this game.
Same here, man.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about this edition, if you ask me. But I completely understand why people would be questioning this edition.
Yeah. Although I will say though, I am very happy that at least this direct was slightly saved by Cuphead though. Cuphead being included as a Mii costume, I think was the coolest thing ever. They actually mimicked like the gun to be his little finger that he does in the Cuphead game.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a nice little detail. Like, honestly, they could have just made him have a blaster, but no, they went out of their way to model it to make it look like it's coming out of his finger, like in the original games. And yeah, like, to me, I think my favorite thing about these announcements for Smash, with the Mii side anyway, is just, this is their way of handling indie announcements, man. Like, if there are going to be indie characters coming into Smash, having them be as Mii costumes, I think is probably the best approach they could go at it.
Right.
And, well, there we go. Like, I mean, I have nothing much more to say to Smash Direct. I know they had, like, 40 minutes worth of stuff to announce, but it's like, it's not as exciting as the other ones, which hurts me the most, man. I love Three Houses. I love this franchise, but it's like, God, I know that people are going to be mad, and I can't do anything about it because they have every right to be mad. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality.
We've been there. Yeah.
Exactly. We've been there with Corrin, you know, and now here we are yet again, but this time with Byleth, man. And it sucks, too, because, like, Three Houses is, like, my favorite Fire Emblem game as of now. I think they did a lot of amazing quality of life updates. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess now with that being said,
you could say we weren't surprised at all.
No, we were not surprised, but mainly disappointed.
Yeah, disappointment all around. But that set aside that topic. So into the main course.
Alrighty.
Of the day.
And also, thank you so much for following. Absolutely appreciate it, Frisk.
Awesome.
Let us now get into our discussion for the week, of course, given that this is an anime talk time right now that we're going to be entering, I want everybody to know we're going to be talking about the anime of 2019, two of our favorite shows from fall of anime 2019. Yes. And then, of course, slightly after that, we're probably going to tackle just slightly our talks on the anime of 2020 and how many people are surprisingly mixed about it this time around. I think I'm a little bit surprised on that one, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Now, right. I have with me a coin.
Oh, God.
Because we have two shows. I'm not sure which one we're going to go at first.
Okay.
They're two amazing shows, of course. Everyone loves them, I think. I'm not sure how people thought about the last two episodes for these two shows, since that was the last time we actually got into these discussions. But, yeah, shall we get right into it then, Evie? So, for heads, I have with me Oro Usuki. And for tails, I have with me the cautious hero.
All right. So that's how it's going to be, huh?
Yeah, right. It's going to be this way, man. We have to figure out somehow. We can't play rock, paper, scissors here. All right.
For the tail, Batman. Heads, we talk about Otosuki. Tails, we talk Cautious Hero.
And let's find out the answer. Coin flip away. And the coin fell on the floor.
Oh, God.
Where'd the coin go? Hold
no.
on. Gotta find the coin. Where'd it go? All right. Found it. I found it. All right. All right. So
and
the answer is. Oh, this thing has two heads actually. Hold on.
Wow. so it's destined to be Otosuki first.
Shit. Well, I guess the answer is there because I wasn't using a coin. You know those machines that pop out those weird looking like egg shaped coin with like weird designs on it.
Yeah.
In like those like amusement areas, like in the aquariums or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was flipping that and it had two sides to it and I didn't pay attention to it. Well, shit. Wow. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go and talk about Oro Usuki. Something. Yeah, I don't even remember the name of the actual show.
Short Otosuki. Let's just have it at that.
Alrighty then. Let's get at that. Let me just make sure I open this up because I want to make sure that this is actually done correctly. Otherwise, I will be very sad if I don't. So let me get at it then. So, Evie, why don't you begin? Because, of course, you were the one that kicked things off for it. Were you not? I think last time, anyway. Oh, and I caught you off guard yet again.
Yeah, once again.
Once again.
I just want to enjoy my fried chicken.
I'm sorry. Okay, then you know what? As you enjoy your fried chicken, let us go and talk about this rom-com / not really a rom-com according to the MC, because he does not like living in a rom-com, but would rather have a harem of some sort, man.
Yeah, apparently.
Someone says it's like Shield Hero, but Moe edition. Or are you talking about that anime about Bofuri, was it? Something like that? I think it's the one that came out this season about like how this chick had just basically leveled up only her defense stats, that she became absolutely invincible. And, and the only thing that's a downside for her is that she's super slow. That's like literally it. I loved it. Hold on, let me just make sure I have these things turned off though real quick. Hold on. All right, there we go. I never watched the show yet, so I can't exactly say anything on that as of this moment.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah, so probably in the next session that we get into, we'll probably talk about it then. But I have heard some things about it. Hopefully it's good things. So, all right. Now I have with me, because I need to have this with me, because if I do not have this with me, I will be pretty confident that I'm going to mess up a lot of their names here. So, and I also need to pronounce the name of this actual show here. Orewosuki Nano.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here we go. Orewosuki Nano wa omae dake kayo. Otherwise known as Orewosuki, Are You the Only One Who Loves Me? We talked about this show weekly back in the original PokePod R sessions. The only downside at that time was, of course, Anime NYC came into the mix. We got a really cool poster based on the anime, by the way.
It's a freebie, too.
Yeah, it's a freebie. And since then, we haven't had a chance to go and talk about it. But let us take this opportunity to talk about the final episodes of the series and just pretty much give a straight up overall discussion / conclusion to this first season. And I call it first season mainly because I don't know what to expect from this moving forward. So
yeah.
Now, I'm going to probably just talk about the final 2 episodes, honestly, because those were the big plot points that happened. There were characters that were introduced since our last discussion, like Chiharu, and what was the other girl? Kimi, I think that's the pronounce, or Kamata, I forgot. It's the chick that wanted to try to create it like a romance between with Pansy and Sunshine, no?
Yeah, and that was it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he forced Joro and Hina to work together to, make that actually happen. So here's the thing now. With episode number 11, or I should say the finale of episode number 10, one of the plot points that they introduced at the very end was that the school was going to decide on putting a close to the library. Yes. And in episode 11, we find out the reasoning as to why. And that's mainly because of the fact that, of course, the library was not being very actively used by the school itself. It's been pretty quiet. Hell, they even brought it up in episode number 2. And it was only thanks to Joro bringing that up in the actual episode. And he's like, all right, back from episode number 2. I remember that. And I'm like, okay, continue to break the fourth wall there, buddy. But thank you for reminding me that, though. And so the library was just not being used at all. It's mainly only been used by Joro and the rest of the gang, and that's really it. So, what could they do to fix this situation? That's when Joro decides to go and try to look for some help from another character, whose name keeps falling off my head, man.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately nowhere near my computer as it's currently in use by someone else. So
yeah, but
you're going to have to do it for me, bud.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember what his name was though.
Oh god.
No, was it Itsuki? No, was it? Oh, dude, let me see if I could try to remember his name because I just recently watched it, but I'm like, shit, I forgot him already. Damn, no, not Tampopo. That was somebody else, actually. Shit, who was it? Try. No, not her. Not Kame. Not Momo. Yeah. Hazuki. Thank you so much. Yes, that's why I can't remember. It's like Yasuo Hazuki, otherwise known as Jose, which is kind of funny, honestly.
Hello. Oh, there we go. For some reason, Discord just decided to yeet me out of the call. So.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what happened to you. I thought you were enjoying chicken still. Thank you so much to Donnie for that. Yeah, Jose, or otherwise known as Yasuo Hazuki, comes into the mix because apparently he learned that that the school is having trouble, despite him being another student at a different school. He decides to come in to try to help out Joro in fixing the library up. And, of course, he does get to that library. Everything is going well. And then the biggest twist just comes out of complete nowhere.
And this is where him and, of course, the plot twist that we're about to say plays a huge role in these last episodes.
Yeah. So Jose apparently knows Pansy because they were actually schoolmates back in the former high school / junior high school that they went to. And now, because of that, you suddenly discover that one discussion that Joro had with Pansy back in a couple of episodes, at the very beginning parts of the episodes, I think it was episode 3 or 4, when Joro was asking why is she looking or disguising herself the way she is instead of actually, just being who she really herself. Is. Yeah, and it turns out it's actually because of Jose. Now, here's the thing that really caught me off guard. I was expecting a really, horrific thing to come out of this situation. I was thinking, something really nasty that Jose did that would have pissed off Joro and everybody else had they learned about it to, be the one that would push the plot forward.
Yeah, because you look at what is it, Jose?
Yeah.
and you could see that he's one of those characters like that just puts up that personality and that face just to look nice, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we were actually wrong, and it actually turns out that he was actually way too nice for his own good. It turns out, right?
Yeah. But here's what makes the situation even worse, in my opinion. It's that, he's doing nice things, but he's not in the wrong. You know what I mean? He's doing the right things. It's just that he's not realizing that those right things can also come included with some consequences. And it's like, wow, you know, when you really start thinking about it, yeah, that does sound to be the case, because it's like, he's doing nothing wrong. He's doing what he views as right. And from everybody else's standpoint, it seems right as well, because they didn't want to argue with the situation, because there's no real wrong answer to this whole mess. You know, Jose did the right thing at the moment when everybody else was neglecting her or just forcing her into being in the spotlight when she really did not want to be in the spotlight. So, you know, Jose did the right thing in trying to keep her away from it, but didn't realize that it also came with some consequences. And sadly, he did not know that. But the thing is just like, she can't say anything because he's not wrong. And I'm like, damn, when you put it that way, I can't even say anything either. It's like, wow. But I think my favorite thing about that 11th episode, though, was like the end of the discussion when you know, they talked a little bit about it, where Joro and Pansy were talking with each other, and Joro at the very end was like, you know, it's true what they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I'm like, shit, man. Like, you know, it's because, like, yes, you can do right things, yes, you could be a right person, but if you don't pay to your surroundings while you're doing these things, it could come to some major consequences that may not involve you, but may involve the people that circle around you. And I'm like, shit, man.
Wow.
It sucks to be a nice person.
in a sense, yeah, because there are people like that. And, man, that hits... that just hits the home run when it comes to, you know, putting in that slice of life there.
Yeah, like, man.
Wow.
But yeah, good job with this episode, though. Like episode 11, I think it was a really swell job on their part. We're really twisting around the plot point, where it's like I was expecting something villainous, and then nah.
No,
it was him just thinking he was doing right all along, and it's like, well, damn, what do I say to this? You know, but
and of course,
like, what do you think about it?
It's like, you know, it's something that you've brought up before. It's just something that you weren't really expecting. You know, you know, you look at this character, and I thought he was like some snobby, basically another son, basically with just how good of a person he is. When in reality, he you know, he used what's the main character's name again?
Joro.
Joro. There you go. Yeah, you know, when this entire time he was just manipulating Joro, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be a similar character, but it turns out that, you know, he was not doing anything wrong whatsoever. Everything that he's done, you know, you come across at, you know, you look at him and you think to yourself like, you know, he's nothing more than a nice and very helpful person, right? But there is that, you know, that life value that comes to play, that being too good actually does come with consequences, and that's something that Pansy has been trying to, and that's something, and basically the main factor as to why Pansy has been steering away from him, and why she decided to change her, you know, the way her appearance, because of that. So, like, it's just a little bit crazy to think, and I thought, and it's just like, wow, I was not expecting Pansy to change the way she looks just because someone was being someone was being too nice, you know?
But I think...
of course...
Go on.
Sorry. And of course, that isn't the only thing that happened in the episode. Of course, we got that little side plots where the girls that were helping him out, Jose, they also try to get him with Pansy.
Yeah. which once again, to add to what we were talking about before, what they were doing was not in the wrong either. That's the thing.
No. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, shit. Like, who am I supposed to put the blame at then at this story?
No blame whatsoever.
Yeah, that's None. The thing. You can't put the blame on anybody because nobody really was in the wrong in this situation. It's more like they just did actions that came with some consequences that they unfortunately did not see happen. But it wasn't like they were aiming for it. No, it just happened to go to that direction. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. You know, so I have to say, I think there was also another plot point at the end of the episode, or was that for this 12th one? But it was like when they were continuing to move forward. No, I think it was at the very end of the episode. That's when Joro and Pansy were like talking with each other, saying, listen, I'm going to figure something out. Wait for me until that moment arrives, you know?
Yes.
And that's how I could think the episode ended. So, any other thoughts you wanted to share for episode number 11? Or was that also just it for you?
Well, I will say this. Our boy Sun also played a bit of a role in helping out Joro, leading to the final episode.
That too. That was another twist to me, was discovering how Sun was acting the same way like he did in the first few episodes of the series. And it caught you off guard again, because it's like he would happened? Be that asshole.
Yeah. Knowing what happened previously, but that it actually didn't turn out to be the case. Not quite, leading into the final episode.
Nah, but the thing that really caught me off guard is that episode 12, being the finale of Oreosuki, was not the finale after all. They're holding on to it. They're saving it for, apparently, I think, an OVA that's coming out in the future. And here's my thing on this. Is that OVA going to be the finale, or are they going to maybe announce a second season after this? Because I think the OVA, in my opinion, given how the story has been structured so far in the anime, I feel like season 1 is probably going to be it, in my opinion. Because it's like, this is the last plot point. It is the last thing to be concluded on. You don't really need to add anything else after that. Like, you know, they have this whole baseball game. You know, once this whole incident happens and say Joro does win and whatnot, like, they don't need to make another plot point. They could just leave it at that and just call it a wrap. You know what I mean? I don't feel like there's going to be a second season, which is unfortunate because, like, I love these characters. Everybody feels so fun to watch, man. It's been a great show. It's been a great ride. And this 12th episode reignites that because while it is a drama, they had a lot of WTF moments, especially at the finale, man. The finale was absolutely phenomenal. But let's start breaking it down. So we learn that, you know, there's more characters not introduced. I want a second season. Damn, that's unfortunate, though. Really? If they ever make a second season, that would be great. I feel like if they were to keep it here, I think this is a perfect way to wrap it up for the anime and then just force you to either read the manga or read the light novels. Right. In my opinion. But if they ever do make a second season, I am all for that, though. I would be 100% on that ride. So in episode 12, Joro completely at a loss at this moment to not be able to access the library no more, to not be with anybody, to keep himself distance from everybody. At the start, he was like enjoying it, actually. He was saying that, hey, wasn't this what I was visioning since the very beginning, that I wanted to have this, friends that I could chat with, people who have some form of, who will love me, you know, having other side characters here too. Like, everything here ties all greatly. Like, I'm actually living the life I want to live. Then, as this is happening, not another girl, but someone else actually decides to join in on this. Tsubaki, I think was. Yeah, Tsubaki. She comes in. Yeah, the girl that works in the restaurant.
Yes.
She caught on to the situation and began pinpointing all the little mistakes that Joro was making, because she apparently knew what was happening because she was paying attention in the last episode. And she's like, listen, Joro, pay attention to what they told you. like read the fine line within the things that they've told you. And I love that detail because to me, I never noticed those little moments there until she brought it up. First being of when Sun-chan was saying, listen, you're like, I am your best friend or something like that, and you are my best friend too, and whatnot. So do what any friend would do, basically, kind of talk that they had in the last episode.
Yes.
And then here in this episode, they're like, oh, okay, I think I understand what Sun-chan is doing. But what about Pansy, though? Like, she told me to get out of the library. But he didn't pay attention to the wording on that, because what really meant was that to be away from the library for a while. Not completely forever. And when Joro began putting the pieces together, he knew what he needed to do. And this probably was my favorite moment in this episode. He knew he had to be the asshole. There was no way for him to escape in that moment. He knew he had to be the bad guy in this one. Because if he didn't, nothing would go back to the way it once was. Now, with that being said, though, dude, I love the little moment between him and Sasankwa. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Or Asaka. Yeah.
The one who changed her appearance, right?
Yes.
Man, she's one of my favorites too, that is.
Oh, dude, this episode, she grew. She grew as a character in this episode. I absolutely love her.
Me too, man. It's me too. She was definitely the shine in this episode.
Dude, if anything, if for some stupid reason, like the manga or the light novel go into the direction with Pansy, I would totally be fine if Joro goes with Asaka or Sasankwa.
Yes.
I would be fine because she grew on me. She grew on me so much, man. In this episode, like, she began tearing up, telling to Joro to come back to be the way he was and everything. Like, that conversation was so good. I loved it. And I hope Sasankwa can at least grow more as a character. I think that's my one complaint I have with this season. I think Sasankwa was like the least developed girl out of all of them. Like hell.
Which could open up some possibilities in season 2. But I really loved her as a character.
Yeah. Like honestly, whichever way, it would be fine. I'm just saying Asaka or Sasankwa, however you want to pronounce her name, you know. Personally, they both are great names. I just think Sasankwa is the one that the characters in the show mention it for her, you know. But yeah, like, dude, her conversation with Joro, also helping Joro figure out what he needed to do as well. Such a solid job on their end.
Yes.
And then, of course, we get to the later half of that finale. And boy, what a weird twist of events that went down in this finale. You want to take it from here, buddy?
Yeah, so of course, after Joro caught on with, he had to be away from the library for a, quote, a while. And of course, it was his destiny. He was destined to be the asshole. So he had to go back to the library and put Jose into his place.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So Joe referred back to his to the person that he is, right? And basically straight out told Joro that hey, Pansy is I actually like Pansy, I think it should be up to her to decide who she actually wants to end up with. I believe in one along those lines, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like they try to make a competition between the two.
Yeah.
And once again, I think another cool thing, I love how they tied it with the baseball game again. Of all goddamn things, they tied it with that stupid baseball goddamn game.
It all comes together.
It does.
With that baseball game.
So yeah, in this one it's Joro versus Jose now in this, with also Sun-chan included in this as well.
Right.
But continue on, buddy.
Yeah, so basically, heading into these last few minutes, they sort of like set this little competition to see to pick out between Joro and Jose, see which girls we prefer to. Hold on, let me reword this differently. So basically, the girl vote for either Joro or Jose, uh, and basically which they prefer to end with Pansy.
Yes.
And I just like how there's this little plot twist as well that like, oh well, of course we'll go for or of course we'll go for Joro. He's our
he's the main protagonist, right?
he's the main protagonist of this rom-com, yeah. And you could just see Joro being really confident, like, oh come on, like the girls have got to go for me, like it's already like a settled competition between me and Jose.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that the girls decided to revert back their vote towards Jose. And you could just see the look on Joro, the confusion, this feeling of betrayal that he actually didn't get voted to.
But you know what the best part about that whole sequence was?
They played the opening.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my god, the opening is played, and then of course Joro comes out of complete nowhere, and he's like, oh my god, no, even the singer herself, Shuka Saito, betrayed me too. Like, I love that fourth wall break. That was absolutely brilliant on their part. Like, that was great. You hear in the background, thinking like, pop, 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 and see the credits play out in the background. Like, oh, dude, that was great.
Yeah, but just to finish up the final minutes of this episode, the reason why Joro's friends, or his female friends, turned against him was because they Pansy now has some competition to win Joro's affection.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, for some time, Cosmos, as well as Himawari and Asunaro, I believe is her name.
Yeah, Asunaro.
Yeah, of course they all have feelings for Joro, and they straight out told Pansy that you might love Joro, but it won't be easy to win his affection because now she has competition.
Yeah,
and
but
of course,
if we twist the system around,
yeah, and of course the girls confessed their feelings to Joro, which actually caught Joro off guard. He was really happy that these girls had feelings. He could probably end up with his harem, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, given the situation he was in, it really messed up his plan. It messed up his group, his plan. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because like the girls know the situation that's at hand right now. They clearly know what's going on. And yet, even knowing this, they still go with Jose. And I'm like, shit, what happened to being friends?
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, we are friends, but we're also rivals. And this approach, we're taking the rival route. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how the episode ended. And of course you see Joro breaking the fourth wall, letting the audience know that wait, there's still a little bit more to come, so stay tuned.
Yeah,
by a little bit more to come.
And I'm like, god damn it, you mean we have to wait until the OVA comes out? I don't even know when the OVA comes out. That's the thing. I don't think they even announced when the OVA is going to be releasing. All we just know is that it's happening.
It's happening, yes.
And that's it. I'm like, dude, you can't tell me. You can't tell me that it's good. Summertime. Shit. That is bull, man.
Man.
And because like, right now, like this season has been great. I've been loving all the arcs. Hell, I even mentioned like the 3-episode rule that applied beautifully with Otosuki because it literally wrapped up the story with chapter 1 anyway in like 3 episodes, and I'm like, shit, that is amazing. Hell, even Joro at like episode 4 was like, well, we finished that up. We don't need to go through any more plot points no more now, do we? Oh no, another plot coming to the mix.
Or so you thought. Yeah.
And that just happened over and over and over again. And you were thinking, oh boy, we're going to get another finale. It's going to be great. They're going to introduce some form of a plot point, save that for the OVA, and leave it at that. But at least we would have gotten a conclusion in this season. You know what I mean? Because you also got to remember, one of the episodes was sadly taken as a recap episode.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to suffer waiting until summertime. I think because we had the recap episode happen like in between, like I think it was 9.5 or something, and that's unfortunate. So like I just hope that that OVA or episode 13 does a fantastic job in wrapping everything up. That's all I'm asking for. So let's hope it does. Let's hope it's great. And sadly, because of this, I can't really give a proper conclusion to this storyline because there's still missing a missing piece left that you need in order for you to properly give this whole story a closure on. Because you can't end it here. That's the thing. You could say the episodes are great, but like you can't say it's a complete show.
You can tell me that Joro letting us know that there's a little bit more left. You can tell me that was absolutely nothing. It's meaningless. There has to be more. And like you said, I want proper conclusion to all this. Yeah.
So let's hope. Let us hope that it does turn out to be a great OVA and a great finale.
Mm-hmm. But until that hopefully we get a second season.
Yeah, hopefully we get a second season. Maybe they'll announce it in that OVA. That would be great because so far they've been breaking fourth walls. I mean, hell, let's continue to do it then, right?
Yeah, of course. That's one of the few selling points about this show.
Mm-hmm. So, here's hoping, man.
Yeah, but overall, Otsutsuki, it's been a terrific anime for fall 2019.
Yeah, I've been loving it. And this episode was great. This season was great. And I'm just patiently waiting. That's all it is, man. It's just simple patience at this moment, which hurts because we have to wait 2 full seasons till we get to that. And I don't even know if the OVA is going to be subbed. That's the thing, too. Is the OVA being subbed? Hell do I know. It's going to happen, I hope. But here's hoping for the best outcomes. Alright, so any other thoughts you want to share on Otsutsuki, or should we now move on into our next topic?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one, because this one, these final episodes has been, wow, a mind blower.
Oh, dude, and this one also got a conclusion too.
Yes, unlike Otsutsuki, this one does have conclusion. So,
okay,
let's go ahead and get into Cautious Hero.
All right, but before we go though, someone asked, "What is the name of this anime called?" It is called Otsutsuki. Are you the only one who loves me? The anime that we're going to be talking about now is we're going to talk about the Cautious Hero. This anime, let's just say, when I first watched it, and I think this was also thankfully recommended by you, Evie. Or one of us recommended this, at least to the other.
Yeah, now, it definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you recommended me something else, though. Or was that No, it was Otsutsuki. It was Otsutsuki.
I recommended you.
Yeah, and I recommended you Cautious Hero, is what I remember. And also the Suplex Girl anime. So that one was still great. We already had a discussion on that, so we're good. Cautious Hero, though, was like one of those isekai animes, and of course I was isekai'd out at this time because it's like,
oh my god.
We've had some really good ones throughout the year, but dude, in the summertime there was a shit ton of isekai. I was wiped out, man. I couldn't go through another isekai, and especially having to suffer through probably one of the most iconic isekais of all time. Isekai Sheet Magician or Shit Magician.
Something like that, yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, it sounds about right, no? That monstrosity, I was like, I can't with isekai no more. I'm starting to lose the love that I have for this series. So how could this anime right here, how could this show, The Cautious Hero, do any better? How could it make things give me that amount of love that I have for isekai? And then the first episode happened, and holy shit, that I died my ass off like 10 times and just watching the first episode, man.
10 out of 10 first episode.
It was a beautiful episode. You cannot forget that iconic finale when the girl just jumps forward to the hero and she has like this monstrous zombie face that looks even worse than the villain herself. Like, I loved it. I loved everything about it, dude. So let us now get into this. So Cautious Hero has mainly been seen as a comedy fantasy isekai series. And for a majority of the show, it's mainly been that way. Like, they've introduced a lot of, like, heavy elements. Like, when the episode when they talked about how Erudu needed to sacrifice herself to be the weapon for Seiya. So that way he could defeat the Demon Lord and all that. And Seiya's like, listen, you tell me that, but I ain't gonna do any of that. You know, and he's going to instead find another way. But, like, they introduced a lot of, like, dark themes throughout the storyline.
Yeah, it's not all isekai it's not all comedy.
Yeah,
from your first impressions.
But what's funny is that every single time that there's always this dark element to it, they follow it up with comedy, and it doesn't feel forced at all whatsoever. It feels absolutely natural to the show, and I think that's one of the best parts about this series. Is like all the plot points and everything were great. Like my favorite part was like when Seiya got the holy water and just began pouring it on all the characters, especially on Restarte, and then of course on the nun who fainted. You know, and she was just on the floor, completely collapsed and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna pour this water on her." Yeah, like, oh no, she's not an undead, she's good. It's like stuff like that happened throughout the series, or when Restarte just realized that a lot of her hair was plucked out of her head, and through other parts as well that they don't ever talk about.
It's like, yeah, you know, I've been naturally plucking out parts of your hair while you were asleep as well, so don't mind me.
And of course, they specifically focused on a part of Restarte when they were having that discussion. So it kind of gave you an idea of like where it was going. I heard in like the light novel / manga, like apparently they called the hair curly hair. So like instead of like how it was in the anime where it's just regular hair, like in there they go a little more specific, stating it's curly hair. And I'm like, oh shit. Whatever could that mean, you know? But like, yeah, so I've had a lot of times with this show just busy laughing my ass off. Just, like with MASH and Erudu, they've been growing as characters. You see them become like a dragon, and then of course Erudu becoming a supporter, like giving him like speed and everything to help him out in the situations. Yeah. All of that was great.
It was, man. It's been a good ride just having to watch these. The second half of the series. It's been really good.
Yeah. And then to add to that, because we've only talked about these 4 characters, let's start going into the goddesses themselves.
We cannot leave them out because there's been some interesting. Yeah, let's put it like that. There's been some interesting goddesses that we've been introduced to.
Interesting goddesses and gods, man.
And gods. Yeah.
Like, what was it, Cerseus or something like that? The first one you saw, you know, where he tries to help out Seiya, and then he gets his ass whooped.
Yeah.
That was my favorite bit.
Poor man.
Yeah, like my favorite bit was when Restarte came to go and check up on Seiya. The only thing you just hear is just Seiya just clobbering Cerseus with the fist. And then after that, he's like, I'm ready perfectly. I'm like, no, you're not. You just straight up, traumatized this poor man here.
Stop it. He's already dead.
And it's like that. And I'm like, dude, poor Cerseus. I feel so bad for him. I hope nobody else suffers the same fate. And guess what? It doesn't stop there. You then move on into Adenella, I think was her name. It was that like goddess of war, I think she was.
The goddess of war, yeah.
Yeah, and then you see her. She looks very quiet. She looks very mysterious, kind of like a character that looks like she would straight up kill somebody in the dark. And over time, Seiya and Adenella would work together, or Adenella, I think that's what it said, but they would work together. In training Seiya to perform some moves. But the thing that caught me off guard is that Adenella over time slowly changed her character, and then at the very end she did a 180.
A complete 180. Jeez.
She transformed. I'm like,
what the hell did this man do?
I don't even and I don't think they ever bring it up, do they? Like, they just straight up just say, like, something happened, Adenella falls in love with Seiya, and it's like, girl, first of all, she looks great. But
Yeah,
I feel so bad for her.
yeah, it's so weird because I believe out of all the goddesses that in this entire series, they didn't really specify what they did during their training. Now that
Yeah,
you think about it.
especially for one character we're probably going to talk about in just a bit.
All right.
But like, so yeah, Antonella, she does a complete 180. She straight up comes up to Seiya and, probably confesses her or gives Seiya a cake. And then Seiya just straight up throws that cake back at her.
It's like, I don't want it. Damn
And I don't want you. And Antonella just blows up. She starts killing in the goddess realm. And Seiya's like, I'm ready perfectly. While you hear screaming happening in the background of people getting killed. And it's like, Restart is like, what the hell? Are you sure you're ready? Like, there's something happening in the background. And then they just cut. They just completely cut and move on into the next storyline. I'm like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
The 10 out of 10 comedy right there.
Oh, dude, it's
Man.
great. It's absolutely great. Now, who was the next one? I'm trying to remember her.
Yeah,
No.
I know who you're going to bring up. I'm trying to recall her name as
Yeah, because is it Hestiaka? No, that's the goddess of fire. No, she's the one that does the fire moves and all that. It's not Nina, is it? Or am I thinking? No, because I know Valkyrie is the other girl.
Yeah,
The one we're going to talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I forgot her name. But basically, the one that's worked with like the sniper and the bows and whatnot. Her.
The bow, yeah.
Oh my gosh, she scared me so much.
You
Ariadoa
look at
probably
her.
is her name, yeah.
Yeah, you look at her and you just thought that she's like this, this like this well-rounded. There's like this.
She looks normal.
She looks normal. She looks like this mature goddess of archery.
And she is.
It's Adenella. It's Adenella.
The Predator Metis, probably someone says. I'm going to try looking this up as you continue discussing to see. So let me try to go and look this up while I'm at it. Hold on.
Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah. Her name is Adenella, in case you didn't hear me earlier.
Okay. No, Adenella was the one we just talked about.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was the goddess of war. It's Metis. Yeah, Metis is the one. Thank you so much for that, Donnie. It is Metis.
Okay, so Metis.
Yes.
Okay. So glad we got the name. So, ugh.
Yeah, no, like you have all these cute names, like Adenella. You have Erudu. You have all these great, beautiful names, and then you have Metis. That's so weird. But anyway, continue on, buddy.
But yeah, they saw her around to deal with this one of the demon servants who happens to be like this fly, right? This general of a fly hive that they were trying to take down in this other world.
Uh-huh.
So they went out and looked after Mintis, who requested to train Seiya, and you thought everything was gonna be all fine and dandy. Restarted and just went out of her way, while Mash and Edidu went up to do their own training, right?
Yes.
So some days passed, and Restarted decided to. Well, actually, some days passed, and what was the other goddess's name? The one that's kind of like the like this mentor for Restarted. Trying to remember her name. You know who I'm referring to, though, right?
Yes. Ishtar? No.
It's not Ishtar. Man, trying to remember her name.
Oh, Ariadoa.
Ariadoa. Thank you. Okay, so one day, Restarted went up to visit her, and Restarted just brought up that Mash and Edidu, they're doing their own thing, and Seiya is off training with Metis, right? I believe his name.
Yes.
Okay, and uh, sorry, can you help me out with these names again?
All right, so let's bring it up. Restarte and Ariadoa, they had a conversation about having Metis train Seiya
Yes.
in the forest. And then
But
Ariadoa was like, "Wait, girl, what did you just say?" And then she's like, "Listen, I brought him to Metis. She seems like a normal person. In fact, she probably is the most normal person amongst all the goddesses because everybody else is a complete lunatic. And she seems like she'll probably do a good job in training Seiya." Then Ariadoa was like, "Listen, that's great and all, but you do know about what she really is, right?" And then Astarte's like, "Huh?" And it turns out that Metis, while she is known for being the goddess of archery, she also is known for her nymphomania.
She's known for her lustiness, pretty much. Yeah, that's another way to put it.
She moved in ways that no human should ever move, man. It is so horrifying.
Pretty much a goddess that's being possessed by this voodoo ass spirit. I don't know what the hell she was doing.
And she loved it too. That's the thing. She loved every single thing about it.
And of course, there comes a censorship to the rescue.
the beam of light and everything.
The beam of light, and of course that the black censorship to cover up the rated M content.
Yes.
But yeah, Jesus Christ, this woman was beyond freaky.
And thankfully, we just ignored her at the very end anyway.
Because and Seiya just treated this like any other training session.
Exactly. She just snipes her on the head. He's like, "All right, we're done. I'm ready perfectly. Let's get out of here." And so he does. And, for these past couple of episodes, it's always been on the comedy side. It's always been them being goofballs, being funny, being all this and that. And you love every bit of it because it always comes out at the very end with a very funny joke, Like, nothing is ever usually to be taken super seriously. And then we get to the final episodes. Specifically with episode 11, I want to say.
Yeah, so I believe that...
I have no words for these finale, man.
Man, for real. And this happened after they took down the fly general, I believe, right?
Yeah, that weird bug thing. But you want to take it from here then, Evie?
Yeah, so pretty much in episode 11, Seiya, out of his own character, something really unusual of him, decides to let Mash, Erudu, and Restarte actually relax, take a day off, to unwind. And that's so unheard of because you know how overly conscious Seiya is, that he's always training, he's always putting others to work to move on to these to these main quests. He's a straightforward guy, right?
Yes.
And by the end of episode 10, he decides to let them have the day off to do whatever they want. And then comes episode 11, and pretty much the episode starts off with Restarte, Match, and Erudu just wandering around the city from shopping and doing these other things, and they realize that Seiya hasn't come back to his inn room, because they agreed that they wanted to regroup by a certain time, and it turns out that Seiya was nowhere to be found anywhere in his room, and they decided to go to then look for Seiya, and as they look into Seiya's room, they didn't find Seiya, but they did find someone else. And Arianetta, is her name?
Ariadoa?
Help me out here, buddy. I need help with these names.
You're talking about that senior goddess for Restarte, right? Like her go-to goddess.
Yes.
Yeah, Ariadoa.
Ariadoa, thank you. So she happens to be there, and she requested Restarte and the others to come back with them to the goddesses' world to visit Ishtar.
Yes.
And they were brought into this this room that normally a lot of people don't go to because it's off limits to them, and it turns out to be this like this tree of life, or some sorts, I believe. Like it's kind of okay if you play God of War, and if you've seen that tree of life, it looks kind of similar to that in a way, right?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Yeah, so they come into this room where they have these crystals, which happens to contain the souls of former lives before they got transformed into goddesses, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And this is where things got. This is where the revelations come in. For some reason, the revelations from the revelation formula from Kanata no Astra made its way into episode 11, and
we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go there.
But man, shit got pretty serious when Ishtar broke things down to Restarte. Now, first of all, the reason why Seiya wasn't there in his room to begin with was because he already set off to fight the demon lord of his world.
Yes.
Which much to their surprise, they were like, "Wait, what's the big deal?" Seiya is way under level to even challenge the demon lord to begin with. But then it turns out that Seiya, how much he's been using the fake out skill this entire time. And Ishtar showed just how far leveled Seiya is compared to what we thought was his actual level. And it turns out that for some time already, Seiya was already at max level 99, I believe, with max stats, all the abilities, everything. And Ishtar couldn't believe what she saw.
Yeah.
And of course, Ishtar broke it down even further as to why he already set out to defeat the Demon Lord. And it turns out that Seiya has actually been in this Isekai world before. So it turns out that Seiya was part of this group, which happens to be led by Area Doa. There you go.
We'll call her Arya. Make it for short.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Arya. They got a glimpse as to what Seiya did before.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, before we get any further, first of all, I love Arya's design from back then with her long hair.
Oh, dude, she looked great. Yeah.
Yeah, she does, man. But yeah, you just see Arya, you see this healer, and you also see this other swordsman. And then out of nowhere comes Seiya, which I thought to myself, wait a minute, hold up, this doesn't make any sense. If I thought, people were only allowed to come into this world once, right? So why is he here?
Yes.
Yeah, so as the story went, they were in this common goal to defeat this demon lord of their difficulty, and Seiya was also completely different. He's nothing to the Seiya that we've known for these past episodes. Seiya was nowhere near conscious. He was sort of like this carefree. He was always ahead of things. He could give little regard to his own statuses and levels.
Yeah.
And before their fight with the demon lord, he had a talk with this healer,
mm-hmm.
and just letting her know that, hey, I know we've been breezing through this lately, but why are you getting so ahead of yourself? Why do you want to defeat the demon lord already? And of course, Seiya broke it down and said that he just wants to get this over with. There are other lives being taken away continuously. We had to take the demon lord down, and letting them know that everything gonna be okay. I believe it's this phrase that he was using.
Yeah, the original, the pre Seiya.
Yeah, the pre Seiya. Yeah, the pre-ready perfectly, so to say.
Yeah, he's like gonna be okay or something like that. Which I thought that was a nice little detail right there.
Yeah. So we then got to the fight with the Demon Lord, and Seiya was coming in clutch, finally bringing down the Demon Lord, and they were celebrating. I believe one of the members was also near death, and they were so relieved that they finally saved this world. Until you realize that this Demon Lord had a second life and took away and already ate one of Seiya's former member, and it just caught Seiya and the others completely off guard over the fact that this Demon Lord had a second life. And from there, the Demon Lord then went to eat up the goddess, which completely regenerated his health.
Mm-hmm.
And already they were at a disadvantage, because Seiya and the others were already worn out. They don't have enough health. They don't have enough.
They can't protect themselves now.
Yeah, they can't protect themselves. And Seiya was telling the healer. I'm sorry, I wish I could remember her name, but basically he was telling her to run away. Well, of course, the Demon Lord was already ahead of time and scooped her up and was about to eat her. But before he could do so, he realized that there was he realized that that healer was already pregnant, which caught me off guard, because it's like, oh man, don't tell me this demon is going to eat this woman with the baby, like, in front of us. Not just in front of Seiya, but I probably could have been a little bit disturbed to see such a graphic scene,
Yeah, and it went from dark to just absolute oof. Yeah. I know we go from dark to oof, but man, that's the best way to describe it, because it's like it's this chain of events that go from bad to worse, and it does not get nowhere better. Nowhere does it get any better. It just piles up more and more, from the death of somebody to the revelation that there's a child in the way, and they have no way to turn back. They're in that moment. It's pretty much over for them. And then you find out the truth behind everything at the end.
Yeah. You could just see Seiya back then, just begging to spare her and to spare that child. But before, of course, they had to cut off the their
the flashback, I guess.
They had to cut off the flashback, because pretty much that's all they could show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you said, this is when you find out that that healer that was with Seiya previously, surprisingly and shockingly, was actually restarted, reincarnated as a goddess.
She was given a chance for another life here. And I think it was because Arya was the one that helped her get to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, that is such a massive twist right there. And also, it also made me realize, wait a minute. Try saying her name, Restarde. Take out the E, restart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh my god, it was there in our faces the whole time. She was given a restart in her life because she became a goddess due to the events of what happened in her previous life. And Arya was there to thankfully save her into, becoming who she is now. Of course, the one thing is they made sure to seal away that memory. Because when she, I think they brought this up before, when someone becomes from a human to a goddess, they lose those memories from beforehand. Or somewhere around the lines of that. I think that was with, what was his name? With Cerseus, if I recall. They brought that up. And then, of course, with Stardate, it was something like that as well. And I'm like, man, I felt so bad for her. Because now when Restarted learned the truth, and also it didn't help that Mash and Nidoru were there too, and you saw those two characters, and they also kind of mimicked them as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, oh god, I felt so bad for every single one of them. And now you understand exactly as to why, Seiya is this character who's so overly cautious, who's so
Yeah.
wanting to make sure that the moment is, as he says, ready perfectly.
He this whole time he was basically a shadow of his old self.
Yeah, but
Like,
he
man.
doesn't even remember it either. That's the thing. This was
Yeah.
sealed up for him. He has no
Mm-hmm.
recollection of the events that played out. All that we know is that I think this was the one planet that Arya was unable to save.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's
which
like, I'm like, oh my god, it just tied everything together.
yeah, that's another thing too, and I'm happy you brought this up. That now you understand why Arya was, the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
How that completely answers why she was unable to save this previous world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and basically the episode concludes with Restarte and Mash and Erudu heading directly to the Demon Lord's fortress to save Seiya. And man, I thought it could be a more of a beautiful ending to episode 11. Just having that background music and having and Arya just stopping restarting, just letting her know that she does not want to lose her again.
And
Man, I'm not
Restart is
gonna
like,
lie.
listen, I can't. But
Yeah,
I don't want to lose Seiya as well.
yeah,
Man.
exactly. It's like I'm not gonna lie. I almost teared up in those last moments.
Yeah, when she began crying, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
I'm
like.
like damn, like because like it doesn't even get like better, especially when you get to the last episode of this series.
Mm-hmm.
So should we get into the final one then?
Mm-hmm.
So for the majority, to not to lie, it's mainly been like a fight. They were fighting to try to save Seiya's life. That was the whole gimmick behind the first half of the episode. Because if I
Right.
recall correctly, Seiya performed the move that was
Used by Valkyrie.
yeah, I forgot what it was called though. But yeah, the goddess of destruction, she gave the move to Seiya,
Yeah.
and Seiya
Which
performed this said move.
Yeah, which what it does is that it basically seals away any opponent into like this like death chamber, so to say.
Sadly, though, this also comes with a massive price, and it is basically your body. If you're not strong enough to withstand this ability, you will be taken away. And that was, I believe, what led to the chain of events that you saw at the finale in this episode. You want to take it from here, then, buddy?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, right after Seiya used that ability on this demon lord, everything's all said and done. And of course, you see Seiya being heavily penalized by using this move.
Mm-hmm.
And Restarting is doing everything she can to keep Seiya alive.
Healing and everything.
Yeah. But then, of course, Seiya, knowing how prepared he was, and based off his experience, the Demon Lord actually came back to life once again. But of course, Seiya wasn't going to have it easy this time. He was perfectly prepared for whatever situation, and he had to seal him away whatsoever, because at this point he was at such a low, he was such a really huge disadvantage, with how much effort he's put in. Mm-hmm. So to put him away, to seal him away for good, he reused that ability once again, and yes, it finally finished up the Demon Lord. The world is saved, but Seiya used that ability a second time,
and his body was nowhere recovered for that.
It was nowhere recovered. Not even the goddess of healing, Restarte. None of her abilities were working on Seiya, and you could just see Seiya just, you could just look at his skin. You could just see cracks on them. His life was basically depleting.
Yeah, the only thing that was holding it back was Restarte. Like, the moment Restarte decided to stop, Seiya would have been completely wiped out at that moment.
Yeah, at that very moment. And Restart wasn't having it, and she was just basically using her healing powers to keep Seiya alive for a little bit longer. And Seiya knew that it was finally his time to to perish. So he basically shared his final words with Mash and Iruru to, hey, I want you guys to keep training. I want you guys to stay strong and keep yourselves alive in whatever way you can. And of course, the same thing was said to Restarte. I don't remember what exactly he said, but
I think it was like I saved you this time or something like that.
Yeah, but before that,
I don't remember that, honestly. I think it was just more like still, oh, dude.
Yeah, but anyways, but yeah, like you brought up, yeah, you can just, Restarte just put on this certain look in front of Seiya, and Seiya was having this nostalgic or familiar feeling, and he comes to realize that Restarte was actually, his former member from back then. And Seiya smiled one last time and said, now I remember, at least this time I was finally able to save you.
And then from he disappears.
He disappeared, yeah.
Like, honestly, in that moment, I was expecting Restarte to scream, but it was just pure silence at that time.
It was just pure silence, and then we cut to the next scene.
Yep, and we see them in the castle. Everybody's just trying to recollect their thoughts that have happened within these past couple of hours / days. We don't really know how long it's been since the skip. But yeah, Seiya was completely gone. And now everything has now been passed on to Mash and Eridu. Because now these are the new heroes, in a way, to protect this planet. After the Demon Lord has finally been defeated and he is no more a part of this planet no more. He is completely wiped out. Yeah. So, while it is unfortunate that he was sadly taken away, he still managed to complete his job in becoming the hero for this world. And, of course, Eridu and Mash, they had a nice farewell. It was nice to see Seiya, before his sacrifice, also finally admit that he did care for Restarte as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved everything about that. So, now, with that said, of course, Restarte needed to go back. She can't stay in this planet any longer because, well, it's done.
She's a goddess.
Yeah. She has to move on into the next thing. And she says her goodbye. She says bye to Mash, bye to Eridu, and bye to the dog. To
the dog, and of course the new princess or queen.
Yeah.
I've got her name, but
let me see if I can remember her name. Adanella? No, not Adanella. What was her name again? If I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't got it at the moment.
Well, basically a slapping bag for Seiya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot her name.
Yeah, but it's all good. At least we know who we're talking about.
Yeah, dog, basically.
Dog, there you go. Yeah, so, it was Restarte's time to head back to the goddess world. And, of course, she was summoned by Ishtar. And, of course, she has to visit her because of her, she was willing to accept any penalty for creating a portal that takes in directly to the Demon Lord's fortress, which you can't do that. So, as she was making her way to visit Ishtar, she was then greeted by all the goddesses, all the gods and goddesses that we've met previously, right?
Yes.
Just, letting Restarte know that, hey, everything will be all right. Good job for saving this world. And may things go well with your visit with Ishtar and whatnot. Yeah, and of course, she wasn't alone. She was also accompanied by Arya as they went up to visit Ishtar, and basically, of course, they were there to discuss about the penalty that Restarte receives, and Arya, was letting Ishtar know that hey, Restarte wasn't doing anything wrong. I think she did what needed to be done as a goddess and to protect the world. It's been done. If there's going to be any penalty, please take it out on me. But of course, Ishtar wasn't having any of that, and of course, she directed her attention to Restarte. But of course, it wasn't like a heavy penalty. Like she wasn't punished or anything. She was just given another request, so to say, to now take on not an S tier world, but an SS difficulty tier world.
Yeah, and even more brutal world.
Yeah. And you thought to yourself, like, holy shit. I mean, Seiya is gone. How the hell is she going to venture on this duty and venture on to save this world?
And I think they also, as mentioned before, like, she's restricted now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest twist to me. I'm like, oh my god. SS world is their old world. What?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what she was restricted from.
Yes, like, it was that she can't heal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
she can't use her ability no more. She has to work with what she got at this moment because she, of course, paid the price for committing things that she was not allowed to do. Goddess
world.
Exactly. Yeah. So she basically got disabled in using her moves. She's no longer a goddess. She's just a girl, really.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and yeah, it's kind of twisted, man. It's like, Jesus, she just came back from losing, Seiya and realizing who he is and everything, and it's like, shit.
Yeah. And of course, the episode ends up with another plot twist.
Yes.
Yeah, so, of course, I know Ishtar was probably very well aware that, just how difficult it already is for Ishtar to not use her healing abilities. So, what she does for Ishtar is that she allows her to summon any hero that she wants, and for Ishtar, I believe, knowing Ristar's experience with Seiya, she brings forth another summary of a hero. Mm-hmm. One particular hero that Seiya is the one particular hero that Ristar is pretty satisfied with. And it turns out that this hero is Seiya once again. Only this time that instead of being overly cautious, he's impossibly cautious.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how the episode ends.
And I'm like,
but man,
damn. And then of course they play, the best song.
Mm-hmm.
The opening. I'm like, dude, what a way to go down.
Yeah.
What an ending this was.
Definitely, man. And you know what? I hope we do get a season 2. Because I think I brought this up before in one of our discussions earlier. Mm-hmm. If Seiya really is going to be coming back, this opens up possibilities to see how this new Seiya and Ristar are going to, tag along this objective in a much more difficult and different world. So, if we could get a season 2, that'd be great. But I think as it stands right now, I think it's a pretty satisfying conclusion, if you ask me.
You know what's so twisted though? This was a prologue. This entire first season was a prologue when you start thinking about it. Because, this entire season was him being absolutely broken. He pretty much cheated the system, getting the help from all the goddesses and whatnot, and did things that I'm pretty confident no other hero was capable of really doing. Mm-hmm. He did all of that. He came out on top, and in the end, now entering this new generation with the next arc and whatnot, he's limited. He doesn't have the healing abilities no more. He can't do all these other things. It's crazy. And I'm just now really thinking a little bit. I'm just thinking what could they do this time? Now that the goddess herself is restricted from her abilities, is she gonna be the cautious hero now, or goddess?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Seiya's going back to normal, but now she is the cautious one, and then they're gonna have to work around Ristar's character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of like the sound of that.
So, and also, I guess this also means we're not gonna see Mash and Neteru no more.
Oh man, I mean, um, I can say that we might not see them anymore. Like they might not be as as reoccurring, as in season one. But
Yes.
I hope we get to see them in some way. Like maybe see them in a few episodes. Like I don't know, like have them be there in a dire situation, for example.
Yeah, there better be something. Like I would love to see maybe like the twist of fates happen where like they end up getting sucked into this world for a little bit and now are going to be reunited with Seiya and restart again for like another mini adventure or whatnot. Like I'm super curious how this is all going to turn out. Like also
Yeah,
how is Seiya as a character? How is he going to grow? Is he going to remember everything that played prior to the events of like the first season, or is he going to be wiped out of memories from that what just happened?
Yeah.
We don't know anything right now. It's all blank, and I'm excited for it. I think that's the cool part about this. I am super excited for what's gonna go down in this next season, if there ever is one. But for where it stands right now, I think they did a really great job. I think they did an amazing job setting up this storyline. And honestly, like I mentioned, this is a prologue. So it's like, if you really want to see the next adventures unfold, either A, read the manga, or B, read the light novels. That's your only options. And I'm like, shh.
Pretty much.
But dude, let's hope for the best, man.
Yeah, overall, overly conscious hero. It definitely in second place in terms of comedy. Isekai anime, just right below Konosuba. Overall, just a fantastic anime with some plot twists and some dark moments. So
yeah,
it's been a really good adventure.
Yeah, and I hope we get, like you mentioned, I hope we get to see them again, the ones we've had before in MASH and Neruto, and even Seiya and Restarte. They deserve more love. I think the popularity that this anime has received, I feel like is going to spark them to create a second season, but I don't think we're going to be getting it anytime soon. At best, I would say 2021. At like late, like I'm talking about winter time 2021. As in like the very end, December 31st of 2021 or something.
yeah, I get you, but
hey, listen, the only reason why I said about the whole thing looking too much into it is just because those first few episodes we had was pure comedy. No one expected it to go into this dark territory like it did. And I have to give praise to the writers, the people who wrote these episodes, crafted these episodes, animated these episodes, because they did a phenomenal job in really twisting up this storyline to being what it is. So, job well done on their end.
Yeah. Definitely, man.
Yeah, so, and thankfully, this anime here reignited my love for isekai yet again. After having to suffer through the shit magician, going through this one, I'm like, this is a step up, man. A massive step up. Like, Jesus Christ, like leaps and bounds compared to what I had to go through. This was so good.
I need a hero. An overly cautious hero, that is.
Yeah, right? But now, will he maintain that cautiousness in the next season? Who knows? Or maybe the cautious attitude will move on into someone else. Who knows? There's another anime that again for you. Oh, really? Oh God, Keiji's coming back to isekai. Yeah, I finally went back to isekai. So, all right then. So that's gonna be our chit chat talk for our discussions on the 2019 anime season. I want to say it ended on a good note, in my opinion. From the two shows that we were talking about, those were some really good ones to end up on.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. It's been it's been pretty fun having to review these episodes.
And hopefully,
even though we didn't
go on.
Yeah, sorry. Even though we didn't get to review it completely because of the events that occurred recently, it's still fun to watch them nonetheless.
Indeed, it was, and to get a chance to talk about it a little bit here with you guys in the chat, and even just expressing our thoughts in general. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope you guys will continue to enjoy that as we move into 2020 now. Obviously, new shows have premiered, etc. Lots of shows have been going down. We never got a chance to actually review them up front because, of course, we had complications prior to this. But I thought now would be the perfect opportunity because some episodes only gotten like 1 or 2 episodes released at this moment, since a lot of them just aired early in January, and we're literally only in the second week of January anyway. So
yeah, and actually, one of them did receive and already satisfied the 3-episode rule.
which one is that? I'm kind of curious to hear.
That's actually the Jesus, I cannot pronounce I can't find the English name, but it's the one where the scientists trying to find what defines love.
Oh, Rikei ga koi ni ochita no desu shomei shite mita or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait, that got 3 episodes?
Right now, 4 episodes.
Wait, what? I thought this released on January 11th.
It did, which surprisingly, I believe like a few days after it premiered, they already 3 episodes were already uploaded.
What?
So it already satisfied the 3-episode rule.
Oh, dude, don't spoil it for me then, because I have to watch it. I didn't know 3 episodes or even 4 came out already for this.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised too. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it because given given that some of these winter animes only still got like 1 or 2 episodes in, I'm just going to give them my first impressions on it, and of course there are some of these other anime.
Yeah, of course. But okay, just to make sure, for this science anime, yay or nay?
Definitely a yay.
Is it really that good?
It's really good. Okay, now I'm just gonna give you like a premise of what this anime is about without spoiling anything. So basically, you have these 2 graduate students, these 2 scientists who declare their love for each other. But of course, with almost any romance category anime, some of these characters don't have a romance experience whatsoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that just happens to be the case with these 2 characters. And and the way they hilariously approach romance is that they do so in a more scientific approach. Like, what is love? Like, how is love defined? Like, what are some of the factors that come into love? Like, you have to measure the amount of, you have to measure the heart rate, you have to measure the amount of sweating, the amount of times that one looks at each other, the amount of smiles that they've done. They go really into scientific detail about this.
Damn.
And you can just see these other characters just looking at these 2 idiots. You're like, what the hell? Science shouldn't be that complicated to begin with. it's just natural. But of course, and these 2 individuals who declared their love for each other still found this study pretty interesting nonetheless. So,
oh, dude, I love the chick's design. Oh my gosh, she looks great.
I'm gonna say this much, dude. The designs on these characters are great. You're going to get a good kick out of them, and also getting to recognize some their characters. I will say that for me, the best girl so far has to be the one with the yellow skirt. If you see the poster,
yeah, I see the poster right here with me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say for me, design-wise, she's my best girl. But of course, the woman with the glasses, she's also an early candidate for one of my top waifus this year, because she's actually pretty adorable, and just getting.
She looks like a super serious character just from the poster.
That may be the case. She may be serious for the science, but when it comes to experiencing love, you just find out that she's pretty adorable.
Oh my god, I need to see. I didn't know 4 episodes came out. I thought only 1 did because it came out just last week, no?
Yeah, it just came out last week, but yeah, we're already 4 episodes in. And as I mentioned before, definitely give this a shot, because I think they do a really good job handling the comedy, at least in terms of doing the scientific research in love, and just getting to recognize these characters as well has also been a pretty fun experience. So
nice.
Yes, so I would recommend this to you, KG. It's been a good anime for me so far.
Okay, and props to Joy as well for bringing up the English name. It's called Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it.
There you go.
I already love the stupid title name. Oh my god, that's great. Okay, so that's one anime I'm gonna have to be watching during this season. I mentioned, did not know anything about this in terms of like how many episodes released. I thought maybe only 1 episode released, and then I was gonna binge it sometime later. But no, to my surprise, wow, it's actually much better than I thought.
Yeah, actually, 4 episodes is not a bad portion to binge. So you can actually do that when you get the time. And
Nice.
also, I do hope my description helps you out even further with that.
Oh, dude, listen, if there's anything about comedy, romance, and great character design, I'm going to get sucked right into it, so I'm glad. It's great.
Awesome.
All right, so I have a recommendation, two, in fact. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Now, the first one is about an anime that we were making a lot of fun of in our discussion because we were talking about it's ridiculous, it's stupid, why did they make this, how did this get accepted, and is it great? And the anime that I'm going to be talking about is the YMCA anime.
Oh boy, yeah, we had to talk about that.
Ishizoku reviewers. Okay, please tell me if I'm not the only one when I heard that opening thought of YMCA.
I first got that from you when you tweeted out that this anime opening sounded a lot like YMCA. I took your word for it, and I started to watch the first episode. And when the opening came up, holy shit! This opening cannot be any more revolutionary.
It was so great.
2020 is already in good hands because of this.
Yeah, I don't know how to react to this stupid show, but goddamn, this anime opening is so good.
Okay, look, if you find the show to be too lewd for you, the opening should be enough to save you and keep watching this series.
Okay, because like the premise behind this show is stupid. It is ridiculous. For starters, the whole premise is that these dudes go to different brothels or brothels across the nation and review monster girls. Either be like, fairies, demons, cows, etc. Like every single
mermaids,
everything you can possibly imagine that would exist in this world. These dudes are out of their way to go and locate those areas and give reviews on them. And for some odd reason, these reviews are super popular in this world.
At least at the pub that they typically go to, yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you watched the second episode yet. I did.
I haven't.
Okay, in the second episode, they addressed that their reviews are actually being spread across the nation somehow.
Being recognized worldwide.
It's apparently being recognized worldwide because like a demon person comes out and says, hey, listen, I seen your reviews. It seems like it's been getting a lot of attention. In fact, because of your reviews, certain species have gotten a lot more popular over time. So clearly what they've been doing has been amazing. Also, I don't want to spoil that, Donnie, for Evie. I don't want...
It's a good thing I'm on my phone because I can't be looking at the Twitch chat regardless because I gotta look up some of this information.
Okay, yeah, do not read chat. They brought up something funny, but like the second episode they're gonna reveal something so ridiculous. I died laughing when this got revealed. Oh my god. I thought I was going to hate this anime. I thought this was going to be disgusting. I thought this is going to be something. Why
way
does it
too
exist?
Lewd. Yeah.
Like, even the censorship aside, this show is hilarious. Like, god
just
damn.
for the first episode alone. Yeah, first impressions, I'm definitely with you all the way there, man. This has to be like, so far, I think if anything, my early contender for comedy anime of the year.
Ishizoku reviewers. It's so funny because you look at the design and it's like, no.
No, yeah. But man, I don't know which one of you brought this up to tell us to read the description, but bless you, whoever told us that.
Yeah, whoever was the one that... I would have skipped it had nobody told me to read. Oh, that was Joey. Thank you, Joey. Had it not been for you, I probably would never have given this anime a shot. I would have never learned about the amazement that is Ishizoku reviewers, alright? Thank you. You somehow blessed my Saturday timeline with good ecchi content. Now, before I go wrap things up though, with my side. Another anime I would like to recommend. Actually, I just remembered. It's two more I want to talk about. I don't know if you've seen this one, but
no, that's fine. Also, KGB. Actually, before we do get into other recommendations, was I the only one that got fooled by the angel, thinking it was a girl?
I love how they addressed that so quickly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you for saving my life.
Yeah, like they made sure before they got into any more ecchi shit, the dude was like, hey, you're a boy angel, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm a boy angel. Here, let me show you my parts to prove it. And then you find out like mere seconds after she does that, but she doesn't tell it to the guys that that he is also a she, because she apparently has both parts.
Oh boy.
I'm like, dude, no. And I have to wonder, are all angels like this?
Well, I don't know, but eventually these two want to go up to heaven and basically bang an angel one day. That's one of the dreams, pretty much.
They want to go to heaven to see if there's a brothel in heaven. And just bang on some angels like you brought up. I'm like, I don't know what these men are dreaming, but clearly they're living their life, man. And you see it throughout this show. They're living their best life. I will say there is one moment in this episode that really like made me go a lot.
The first episode, or
the first episode, and she also appeared in the second episode too. That old lady. Oh my god. Oh,
it just comes to show like some of these tastes that these men have.
Yeah, but it's only because like the dude is an elf, and because he lives for a long time. Even for their point of view, they could be seen as super young and still super fresh, despite looking all soggy and whatnot. And I'm like,
it's like how could you be hanging out with this 500-year-old man? She's a 50-year-old hooker. Oh, hey there, baby girl.
I'm like, dude, it's nasty, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's great. It's great. I love everything about it. Okay. Yeah. Now, the two other anime I want to recommend, I don't know if you watched this yet. Murenase Seton Gakuen, otherwise known as Seton Academy. Join the pack.
Seton Academy, is yes, you told me to well, actually, we kind of told each other to look at this anime, right?
Yeah, because it's that weird like human animal like mix anime.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
go on.
Sorry, unfortunately, I still haven't looked at the first episode yet, so I can't talk about it into detail. But how is it so far? Go ahead,
dude. The first episode had me dying. I posted a picture on it on Twitter. My favorite.
Yes.
The flashback scene they had was so hilarious because it's like they had this like intense moment where they're trying to kind of showcase the bond between the human and this like wolf girl. And he remembers the flashback pretty well. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember what happened. Although the way you worded it was completely different. What really went down was that I was trying to protect this little girl from these three bears. And then the three bears just picked me up and started beating the shit out of me. And it was like from that moment on where I started hating animals. And I'm like, I just died of laughing because the twist comes out of complete nowhere. The second episode does a good job at introducing a lot more girls. Already, Sloth Girl is best girl in my opinion. Cat Girl is also pretty great too. But like so far, I've really been enjoying the anime. It really catches you off guard because it's like you see the designs, you don't think it's gonna go in that direction, and then they do. Oh, and the ending song is so cute because the singer, being one of the VAs in the show. I don't know if this is intentional, but she's singing off key. But it is so adorable. Like, I think that was the intention. Because, like, she has no experience singing whatsoever, the wolf girl. I think that was what they were trying to aim for. And they nailed it with the ending song. Because it's so cute. And then you get to, like, a certain part when she does, like, a loud noise. And it makes your ears bleed, but for some reason you don't want to stop listening to it because it sounds so adorable.
Okay, I can probably see where this is going. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, give it a shot. Like, I honestly recommend giving this one a shot. So far, 2 episodes have released.
Okay.
And
I'll definitely take a look.
Yeah, so the last one I would want to recommend is an anime that so far has been blowing in popularity. It is one of the... It became the meme anime of 2020.
Please tell me you saw the SpongeBob parody of the opening.
Yes, it was so good!
Yes! Holy shit. Okay, first of all, kudos to that person for putting in the time and effort to come up with that 11 out of 10 parody. Holy shit.
Oh my god, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Good
Man,
god.
Yes, keep your hands off Aisuken. Is the anime that we're referring to, by
Yes,
the way.
that is the one. My god. First of all, that opening is catchy as hell. People have been memeing it to death, and rightfully so, because it is such a catchy song. It's also available officially on Apple Music as well if you want to take a listen to the full version, which is also great. Oh, dude, it is such a catchy song. Chel Miko, I think, was the name of the group. They did an amazing job with the song. The thing, when I saw this show, I'm not gonna lie, the thing that came into my head was, this is Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Okay, I've been hearing people compare this to Ed, Edd n Eddy. Now,
I was like, oh my god.
Now, okay, I'm not gonna lie. The artwork doesn't attract me too much. The first episode kind of didn't leave me on that much of an impressive note, but I want to know because it could be that they made this comparison on later episodes, but how are you comparing this to Ed, Edd n Eddy?
How am I comparing this to Ed, Edd n Eddy?
Yes, in what way do you compare
the characters, the trio? First of all, we're talking about Keep Your Hands Off Aisuken, yeah. The reason why I'm bringing up this whole gimmick behind the Ed, Edd n Eddy thing is because of the trio characters. You got the short one, you got the short girl, you got the medium girl, and then you got tall girl. Like, that's how everybody's calling them on the internet. And what makes it so great is their chemistry. Like, they really are so balls to the wall amazing, man. It's actually a lot of fun. Like, I wish I could describe it to you without spoiling it for you. But honestly, please just really give it a shot. I think, like, when you watch the episode, you will understand why I'm referring to this of Ed, Edd n Eddy. It's because of these 3 characters. When you see them in motion, when you see them talking with each other, they mesh well with each other. It is so good, man. And it's like, I never knew in my life how badly I needed an Ed, Edd n Eddy anime. But this time around with the 3 girls. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's so great. You know, right now, like, I really hope that people will take this opportunity to give it a shot, man. I hope, because, like, so far the meme opening has done a great job in really getting more people to invest in taking a look at the meme and the opening song itself, that I hope that people will take this chance to actually give the show a watch, because what you're seeing in the opening is also what you're getting in the show itself in terms of just how goofy it is. It's a nice gimmick because it's like, oh man, I don't want to spoil it because, like, honestly, you need to see this for yourself. It's one of those, like I mentioned, the moment you watch it, come back into this discussion next week, and you will completely understand where I'm going at this, man. I guarantee you 100% you'll understand where I'm going at it. But the 3 girls themselves, their chemistry is what sold me on this show. And it's good because they're the main characters. They better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other shows as well that are, of course, available out right now. You know, of course, on this anime season. I didn't get a chance to talk about one in particular called Inspectre or Kyoko Suri, something like that.
Do you mind if we could go for like another 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, right ahead. Why?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why. You know.
Yeah, sure. But like, have you seen this one?
Go ahead.
Have you seen
what's the anime?
Kyoko Suiri or Inspector, whatever it's called?
Kyoko Suri. Let's see.
If you're on the my anime list for the season,
I
it's
am.
like at the very top, like right underneath Haikyuu.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Kyoko Suiri. Oh wow, that has a 7.68 rating on it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it about?
So 2 episodes have released so far. Now, do not read the summary. Just don't read the summary at all. Just go away from that as far as possible. Now here's the thing with this anime. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason why I watched this anime is because this anime, in my opinion, has the best ending song of this season.
Really now?
It is my absolute favorite ending song of this season, titled let me see if I can get it. Last Dance, done by Mamoru Miyano, who has done openings for a lot of other shows that I've enjoyed, especially from the Cardfight Vanguard series. He did one of my favorite openings. I think it was called Shout or Shout It Out. Like Mamoru Miyano, he did an amazing job with that ending song. It is like this jazzy song featuring the 2 main protagonists. Have you seen it by any chance? If you haven't, also, I just finally realized what song you were just doing.
There we go. I'm glad you finally got that.
Oh man, I was like, what the hell is that? Why does that sound so familiar? It's like, oh, it's because of that. Okay. No, but seriously,
I haven't seen that.
I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you the thing. Give it a listen when you get the chance. I don't know if you're gonna listen to it now or whatnot, but like, oh my god, I love this. I loved everything about this song, man. It is so good. It is so catchy. The girls design, the one of the girls in the show, dude, she looks beautiful in this ending song, man. I'm just saying. Now, like I mentioned, I don't want to spoil anything, just because you should go into this show as well, just like with what I'm talking about with the Ed and Andy anime, with a complete like blind eye, not knowing what to expect. But like, understand this though. It is going to be dialogue heavy. So there is a lot of dialogue. And I hope that the dialogue is something that kind of fades away a little bit as we progress on. Yeah, so if you're not a big fan of dialogue, I feel like it's going to, probably push you away a little bit. But like as I mentioned...
I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah. But like the ending though, it's fire. It's great. It's one of my favorite ending songs of this season. It's so beautiful. I love the animation. I love Mamoru Miyano's performance on this song, and his chemistry in these kind of songs are just some of the best. Like, if there is a perfect human being, it's Mamoru Miyano. Like, that's how good this man is, man. So yeah, so that's my take on it. Once again, when you get the chance, I don't know if you're going to watch it now or sometime in the distant future. This isn't my highly recommended anime. I'm going to say this right now. Honestly, the Ed and Eddie anime is the one I would recommend highest above everything else I talked about.
Okay.
In my opinion,
now,
anyway.
All right. Now, I do have another anime that I do want to recommend to you, KG. I'm not sure if you've watched this yet.
Go on.
The anime that I'm referring to is Jibaku Shonen Hanaku-kun.
Oh my god, dude! I have.
Did you watch it?
The first episode I have so far. I have watched the first episode. It is so good. I loved it.
Yes, thank you. Man, you have no idea how happy I am that you've actually looked at this, because, my god, I am enjoying everything about this anime so far.
Oh, dude, I love these characters. They are so hilarious when you see it all unfold. It is great. But Hanako-san, or Hanako-kun, I should say, he is one of the best MCs. I love his voice. First of all, his voice is perfect for this character. I'm just going to say that right now. His voice is perfect.
Oh, yeah. Kudos to the voice actor for putting up a good job with this. You can just see the passion and just how much fun he's having with Hanako-kun.
Oh man, it's great. Like, to me, Hanako-kun and Nene Yashiro, they are great. I love those two already.
Definitely.
My God, what a show this first episode. You know what this reminds me of, as weird as this sounds? It reminded me a little bit of Kanata no Astra in terms of the structure, because like the first half of the episode, while it brings the fantasy elements, it doesn't really go into like very dark territory until the second half. When you get to the second half of the first episode, it goes 180. When she turns into like a fish, and then like the mermaid appears, and it's not like the mermaid you would envision. It's like this demonic beast. It's like, holy damn, this is twisted.
Yeah.
But I loved everything about it.
Yeah,
It is great.
Oh yeah, like definitely one thing that really catches my eye has to be the art style. You cannot deny that. You know, there are particular scenes where the art style really catches your attention that you thought to yourself, wow, this art style really looks that good.
Yeah. And also, another thing to add to that, I love how you can tell the certain manga panels are just completely ripped out and given color in certain scenes. Because they make it look like as if it's a manga at some points, where they have like 3 small rectangles appear on the right side, like any manga would do. And it looks so good. It's great.
It does, man. And I know you haven't seen the second episode, but the second episode is just as good, man. You will get a good kick out of this one, and you will also see how in the second episode the bond between these two characters will further deepen. So you're going to get a good kick out of the second episode as well.
Nice. All right. I'm glad to hear that.
And by the way,
what?
By the way, that is a good opening for Hanako-kun.
People are saying that's best opening, and I'm like, oof. I don't know if it's best opening. I think Easy Breezy wins this one.
It's a good opening. In terms of a banger, yes. But in terms of like, you know, like more of a catchy-ish opening, I would have to give that to the Keep Your Hands Up Asuka.
Easy Breezy.
Exactly.
Dude, like I love it. Another opening I also really enjoyed as well was Toaru, the Railgun anime.
The Railgun anime.
Yeah, the third season of Toaru Kagaku no Railgun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought for a second you were gonna say Rail Wars.
No, dude, listen, man. If they ever make a season 2 for Rail Wars, I'm gonna be so happy. I'm just saying.
Yes, we're going in.
Yeah, but we're not now because we don't know if we'll ever get one, though. I don't even think it's even still being done at this moment. If the anime or the manga / light novel, if they ever have one. But I would love to be interested in that, though. But yeah, so these are some of the recommendations we got right now. Of course, we neglected some like Nekopara. I also did give that a shot. It's very basic, very simple kind of show. If you expect a lot of Neko girls, you're getting your money's worth with this one. Just saying. Isekai Quartet as well. One of the big problems I have with Isekai Quartet, you love it, but you also have to remember it's also half an episode worth in terms of length. So it's like a 12-minute episode kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I've also heard some good things about ID Invaded and Darwin's Game. I might have to take a look at those 2 animes sometime.
Yeah, but like right now, let me see. I have the list written down for like what I need to watch. Of course, we're talking about the science anime. I still need to give that a watch. You know, the Shield one as well that people have been telling me about, and also another one, Bafuri. Is that Bafuri that you guys are talking about? The one that's Ite, the one about the Shield? Because like it has a really long name.
Itai no wa iya nano debo. Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah, okay. I clicked on the link. It says Bafuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. So yeah, it is this one.
Has
okay.
7.45 rating on it.
Must be pretty good then. I'll give it a shot. So yeah, I have to give that a watch. What else was the other one that I was thinking of? I think it might have been those two, and then the one you recommended earlier ago. Yeah, the science anime. I did not know there were four episodes out, man. I'm gonna, after I finish right now, I'm gonna binge watch those, okay? And then I'm gonna bring up my thoughts on it.
Man.
Yeah.
Good man. But You know what? Winter 2020. So far we got a pretty good we got a good handful of anime for us to watch at least.
Yeah, we do. It's very niche in a way. Like it's not choices you would honestly think would be like something everybody would watch, you know?
Right.
But we'll see what happens though. I'm kind of curious how things will turn out. So, all right, AB, then you ready to go and call it a wrap for tonight?
Yeah, let's call it a wrap.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We had a lot of fun, man. There's so many we're gonna get through. If you have any recommendations, of course, you can throw them our way on Twitter, social media, all that kind of stuff. Let us know what it is that we need to watch. There's just way too many that we're going to be neglecting some over time, only because it's just so difficult to even remember how many anime there is. But I'm surprised that there's even a lot of anime to begin with, because like when I saw it just via on paper, it didn't look like I would be watching a lot. But the moment that these episodes aired and then I gave them a shot, they all became worth watching.
Definitely, man. It's just a matter of doing some searching and...
Yeah, you gotta look for them. You really have to go look for them. So, alright then, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys will tune in again later on Monday, where we're going to be doing our regular PokePod World podcast, where we're going to be discussing, of course, the recent episode of Pocket Monsters. I'm kind of curious how the fan base is going to react, because that's the Ho-Oh episode, and I don't think people are going to be happy about that one if it doesn't turn out the way people were hoping it be. So, there's that. We have also the Smash Direct to discuss as well a little bit more, with Tyrone's opinion and everybody else's as well, and anything else in between. So, guys, until then, we're hoping to hear from you guys real soon, and we will be talking with all of you guys later in whatever video we make. Take care, everybody, and as always, have yourself an awesome day. Bye-bye.
Hoes are still mad.